everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you this simple but flawless makeup tutorial. It's all about simple eyes and perfected skin. So I've already applied some of the Vichy Dermablend colour corrector in the shade Apricot underneath my eyes, and now I'm going in with the Luxe Eldridge Elevated Glow on the high points of my face. The shade I'm using is Crystal Nebula, and I'm pressing that onto the top of the cheekbones using my finger and then going over that with a damp beauty blender just to press it in and make it a lot more seamless with the skin. For foundation today, I'm using the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I'm a little bit obsessed with this. It is so similar to my Armani Luminous Silk. And I say this because it just sits on the skin so similarly. It has the same kind of glow. It is more of a natural finish, similar to Luminous Silk. And this one is at a fraction of the cost. Having worn this a number of times now, I do feel like I probably stay a little bit more matte in this particular foundation for longer. The only downside is that I have found that my forehead is a little bit bumpier since I've been using it. And I don't wear foundation on a daily basis, but when I do, I have been trying this one just because of the affordability and how amazing it looks sitting on the skin. So I'm going to abstain from using it for a little while in hope that my skin goes back to normal. Then I will be able to tell whether it is the foundation or whether I'm just going through a bit of a stressful period, because we have had to rearrange our wedding for a fourth time. So as you can imagine, it is pretty stressful. We still can't fly to the destination, so we have had to rearrange it. So we pushed it back by another 8 months, which is really disappointing, but what can we do? Anyway, so I've applied that foundation all over. I'm now going in with the same foundation but in a lighter shade just through the centre. This is going to add a little bit more coverage, but it's also going to brighten this area of the face. Have any of you that are watching this, have you tried this foundation yet? I'd love to know, because I am literally blown away by it for the affordability. So I'd love to know if you've tried it. If you have you had any issues with your skin, and has it become a staple in your kit? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so today we're going to use some cream-based bronzers. I'm using a warm and a cool shade. These are both from Nude Sticks. I've got Bondi Bae, which I'm using first, and then I'm going in with Terracotta Tan on the areas that I want to warm up. So Bondi Bae has gone in the hollows of the cheeks because it's a cooler shade. Then I've placed Terracotta Tan where I want to warm up the skin. Now, a little tip is if you use a very light amount of a setting spray on your brush, firstly it will help with the blending process, but secondly it's also a setting spray, so again pushing it into the skin is going to help to lock your products in place. I've used a little bit of the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better setting spray. I like that one. It's got hyaluronic acid, aloe vera, and it's also a 16-hour wear, so it's a nice one to use. With that, I'm also using the Heavenly Luxe Complexion brush by IT Cosmetics, because as you can see it's dual-ended, so I'm using the bigger side on the larger areas of my face, and then I'm turning it round to use in the temples, and I'll also use that side down the bridge of my nose. Don't forget, I do have a Nude Sticks discount code, so if you want to try any of their products, which by the way do not need a setting spray to blend into the skin, they are super creamy, you could literally just use your fingers. However, the aid of a setting spray is just to help lock everything in place. But if you do want 20% off, then use my discount code Shonagh20 on nudesticks.com. To set my skin, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Translucent Setting Powder in the shade Sugar Cookie, and I'm spreading that out over the palm of my hand, and then I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and press that in. That way I'm not getting an uneven amount of powder on my sponge, and then I can press that into the skin to set everything in place. I don't want to overload the skin with powder, I don't want that baking effect, I just want to mattify and press everything in so it gives it a little bit more of a flawless finish. What I quite like about the Huda Beauty translucent powder is it does give a kind of soft focus finish to the skin without looking too powdery. And because we are only using a very light amount, we can take that over the entire skin and we're not going to lose too much of the contour colours that we've placed. Sometimes if you use too much powder, you lose that three-dimensional appearance that you've put in using those cream products. Underneath the eyes, I'm going to use a small fluffy brush to get rid of any excess product that is sitting in the crease lines, and then I'm going to use the same method with the sponge to press in a very light amount of powder. And then we're also going to repeat the same process on the top of our eyelids. As if by magic, I have applied my eyebrows, which I have used my Urban Decay brow blade. And now I'm moving on to my eyes. Again, we are keeping this extremely simple. So I'm only taking a little bit of my bronzer, which is the bareMinerals Endless Summer Bronzer in the shade Faux Tan. And I'm applying that with a fluffy blending brush just into the socket of my eye. So really there is no eyeshadow, it's just a little bit of bronzer. Then I'm taking the same bronzer on my Bobbi Brown angled brush and I'm placing that just over where we applied the Terracotta Tan on my cheekbones. This is to add a little bit of extra definition. And then I'm using what's left on my brush around my hairline. For blush today, I'm using the Cloud Paint by Glossier in the shade Beam, which is this beautiful coral tone. First off, as you can see, I'm blending this onto the back of my hand. And then using the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe brush, I'm going to stipple that into the blusher. Then you want to use a stipple motion on your face because you have powdered, so using a swiping motion may disturb your base makeup. The initial application of the blush is quite high on the cheeks, and then I'll use what's left on the bristles to bring that blush further down so that when you're looking directly in front of the mirror, you've still got a bit of warmth to the centre of your face. Lastly, what I like to do is go in with my beauty blender and just very softly bounce that over to make sure there's no seams. Moving on to lips, I'm taking this lip liner by Dalla Palma, which is number 48. This colour is the perfect nude. It is just so beautiful at giving the lips a little bit of definition but without looking at all overlined, which is something that I really don't like on myself. Then I'm just going to fill in the centre of the lips using my favourite Sweet Peach Peony by Nude Sticks, which is actually a blush but you can use it as a multi-use stick. As you can see, it really does pair beautifully with that lip liner. Everything looks so nice and natural. Obviously it looks a bit bizarre at the moment because I have no mascara on, but I just wanted to complete the skin before we moved on to finish the eyes. I'm going to use my favourite soft kohl pencil from the Black Box edition by ZOEVA, and I'm using my pointed eyeliner brush by Anastasia Beverly Hills to swipe over the tip of the kohl pencil. And all I'm doing with this is simply using the very tip of the brush to line the top lash line. I'm not creating a wing and I'm not making a thick line. I'm just keeping it very, very precise, close to the root of my natural lash line. The reason I'm doing this with a brush rather than straight from the kohl pencil is because I don't want it to be too black. This just creates a very soft finish. It allows you to be a little bit more precise with the tip of the bristles and it doesn't drag along the skin, so you get more of a precise line. Here you can see one eye with and one eye without, and it is super, super subtle. So I'm just going to repeat that on the opposite eye. A little tip when doing this is to have your mirror sort of slightly further down, so you're stretching your skin by looking down, and this is going to help to keep the skin nice and taut rather than crinkling your eyes looking directly in front of you, trying not to stab yourself in the eye. Once you've done that, you then want to give your lashes a little curl. I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curlers. They are my absolute favourites. Not only is this going to give you a bit more of an open eye, it will slightly expose the underneath waterline. We're going to fill this in using the Wet n Wild Mega Liner in the shade Dark Brown. What's great about using a liquid eyeliner is that it's going to dry down. If you use a kohl pencil, it's going to print down onto your lower waterline, which we don't want for this particular look. So we're choosing the liquid liner because it's going to stay in place and it's not going to print down. Another reason I love this eyeliner is not only that it is affordable, it's got a foam tip which makes lining this area super comfortable. I'm going to take some dovetail eyelashes and place these on my natural lashes. I got these from AliExpress. They are brilliant dupes for the Swede lashes. These are about £1.70 compared to £20 a box. I do still absolutely love the Swede ones because you get a variety of different sizes in those boxes, whereas these ones come in one size per box. So you end up with about 5 different boxes for each size. For this look, I'm using 2 different sizes. So I'm taking the slightly shorter ones all the way along the top lash line first, and then I'm going to infill with slightly longer ones in between, just to give a little bit of dimension to the shape, as I really do quite like a spiky finish. Applying individual clusters is really, really easy. It just takes a little bit of practice. If you are new to it, then my advice would be not to overload your eyelash line with glue. Use the tiniest amount on each individual lash and don't wait for it to dry. You can just move straight onto another one. You don't have to wait for it to go tacky. Just apply it and allow it to go tacky while it's sitting in place. So as you can see, that's one eye done. There's no mascara on here yet. When I look up, you can see that beautiful lash pattern and how it really does complement my eye shape. So I tried not to skip too much of the lash application there for you. Now this part's optional. I like to give my lashes a little bit more of a lift, so I'm going back in with my lash curlers before I apply any mascara, but this is totally optional. If you like the amount of lift that these give you without the curl, then leave them as is. Would you believe me if I said I'm still using the same tube of mascara from Gucci? I bought it ages ago and it's still lasting so well. It's not drying out at all. So that is the mascara that I'm using today. I'm blinking onto the mascara to really coat my natural lashes, which helps to seal the falsies to my natural lashes. And then I'm using the tip of my mascara wand to coat the ends. So you can see it's subtle on the left eye, but it does make a difference. And that completes today's tutorial. I've taken down my hair, given it a little curl just to finish the look. Come follow me outside of YouTube over on Instagram. All the products I've used will be listed and linked in the description bar, and I'll see you next week. Bye!